boys and girls, it's time to open the gates of adventure and mystery to the land of Mytherville. Chapter 10, The King's Chamber. As the blazing desert sun rose, a pungent smell struck my nose. I stood up from the cot and strolled past the dividing wall. King Henry was stirring a pot of vegetable soup. Want some soup? Asked Henry as he poured 2 bowls from the pot using a large metal ladle. No thanks, I don't feel like eating yet. I rejected as King Henry took 2 bowls and the butt disappeared into a flash of purple light. As I ambled outside of Roberto's lonely shack, Veer gazed in the direction of No More Kingdom. Looking at the sunrise, I joked as Veer turned back towards me. No, Sai, I'm thinking about leave, but I still want to help you find your friend, stated Veer as the black dragon hunter's blade cooled down to a dull red glow. Well, just like how Roberto said, I can't decide for you. Only you can. I repeated in his voice as Veer stared at the sword. That old cook is always right, uttered Henry as he left the shack too. Yeah, you're right, Sai, mumbled Veer as King Henry's dull purple light disappeared from his hand. Well, that settles it, boys. We'll head into the King's Pyramid, stated Henry. The desert hawk squawked beneath the sand as he followed the ex-king to the scorching desert plains, where the desert hawk wasn't being used. As the ruined desert pyramid appeared in the distance, the former king shouted, "This is it!" As me and Veer searched throughout the crumbling remains of the pyramid, Silver Snake flashed in my mind as a hidden trapdoor struck my eyes within the ground. King Henry swore. I thought the entrance was bigger than that. As he ambled down into the crumbling steps, King Henry chanted, "Igneous!" as a spirit purple fire bloomed from his hand. A carving of a young king showed above our heads. We headed deep down the endless staircase. Henry's hand glowed a bright yellow. Have you boys heard about the tale of the lazy and naive King Raza? Asked Henry as we both kept silent in the light of the purple flames. Well, long ago, back when there was only one kingdom, no more, stated Henry as the sand below us formed into a teenager on the throne. The young King Raza was crowned, but due to his ignorant nature, he allowed the dragon hunters to rise. Again, continued King Henry as the sand reformed into a dark castle with the black and red armored knights surrounding it. After the death of the first golden heart, the kingdom split into 3, added Henry, as sand formed a golden heart that fell onto the dark castle. Sand reformed into a towering castle surrounded by trees. Henry added, the first sided with the golden heart and protection of the magical creatures, but the second sided with the dragon hunters and the destructive goals. Henry continued with a putrid smell as the sand changed into a dark tower surrounded by mountains. We stepped into the chamber below. King Henry finished, but the door was indecisive and didn't side with either. As King Henry grabbed the dark remnant shake like a bright purple eye, the ground shook below our feet. As we fled out of the old king's chamber, it all collapsed on itself. That was close, shuddered Veer, then settled on the remains of the buried tomb. It's nice to see you alive! Took a count as the 2 young boys appeared on the baby nighthound. Oh, boys, I know you're upset, but please stop this chaos now, begged Henry, as the red-eyed wolf growled at the slow approach. No, you're not a dad! Only King Sarasa is now, shouted Cal, as he pulled the nighthound into a painful yelp. I didn't want to do this, but you forced my hands, boys, warned Henry as his eyes glowed both purple and yellow. The baby nighthound pounced for circling sand swirled around us. As we all were swept into the air, the twins and the wolf were blasted away. She drifted down near patches of shrubs. A dull red farmhouse appeared throughout the fallen sand. She approached the old house. Bird marks covered the old painted chip house, like it was more ancient than it seemed. What is this place? I asked, as I stepped on a black flag with a red dragon skull on it. This is the edge of the gleaming desert, my home, shouted King Henry, as sand formed a white dome around us. As Veer pulled his red glowing dragon blade out, 2 armored men forced the menacing black blade from the bones of a slayed dragon. As a purple mist spilled out of King Henry, he fell into Roberto and his twisted grey staff. Me and my folks came from your world, Sai, spoke Henry, as the image of a farmhouse fell from the sky. The image quickly changed into a family walking out of the house with a smiling young boy. At first, this new world was great to us, but one day everything my family ever built was burnt down, frowned Henry, as the dome shifted. The 2 red armored knights and a familiar greedy couple burning the house down. As the dome soon collapsed around us, Veer pulled his blade back and said, I know what I must do, Sai. Well, I have to see my daughter one more time, said Henry, as the desert hawk popped out of the sand. As Henry and Veer hopped on the desert hawk, Veer was, I hope you'll be able to find your friend. As they flew away, I was alone once more. Subscribe, hit the bell, like, and buy the books off Amazon, and have a magical day.